The little girl was a troublemaker. By accident, she got her father's prized ink all over her face. Looking at that huge black mark in the mirror, no matter how hard she washed, she burst into terrified tears. She thought her face was ruined forever, so she secretly put on a veil to cover her face. But a month later, when the ink finally faded, the mischievous girl went and poked a hornet's nest. Her delicate little face instantly swelled up red and puffy. Seeing their daughter's face, her parents were heartbroken and furious. To keep her from getting hurt again, they could only let her keep wearing the veil. And just like that, she wore it for 10 years, until her coming-of-age ceremony. That day, the new emperor issued a decree. He betrothed her to the great general, a war hero with countless victories. But this general cared way too much about looks. Believing the rumors on the street, he decided his fiancée must be an ugly, disfigured woman. So after returning in triumph, he offered up his military merits in exchange for ending the engagement. He hoped the emperor would take back the order. All he wanted was to marry the female strategist, who had fought by his side day and night. End the engagement? Perfect. My chance has finally come. No one expected the emperor to agree so easily. He even issued 3 decrees on the spot. Not only did he approve the general's request, he also granted the general and his strategist permission to marry. But the most shocking part was the 3rd decree. The emperor named that supposedly disfigured girl as his noble consort. The girl was stunned too. She couldn't figure out why the new emperor would do something like this. What she didn't know was that the new emperor was the same older boy who had lived in her home as a child. Back then, she was playful. She once snuck into her father's study. But she startled the young prince, who was practicing calligraphy. That knocked over a candle stand and started a fire in an instant. The girl was scared, but she used all her strength to drag the unconscious prince out of the flames. But her own face got covered with her father's treasured, priceless top-grade ink stick. The ink was such high quality that no matter how hard she scrubbed, it wouldn't come off right away. Her little face was rubbed red, and one big patch was still black. Her face must really be ruined. I heard she got burned. Poor thing. Soon, word spread across the capital that the prime minister's daughter had been disfigured. Everyone thought it was such a shame for such a pretty little girl. Her mother comforted her, saying the ink would fade on its own in a few months. So she obediently put on the veil and waited for the mark to disappear. But that look only made outsiders believe the disfigurement rumors even more. After that fire, she never saw that older boy again. Then, on the day of her coming-of-age ceremony, the new emperor took the throne and sent a decree to the prime minister's manor. He wanted to marry her to the great general. She just couldn't make sense of it. Since ancient times, civil officials and military generals rarely married into each other's families. With this arrangement, was His Majesty not afraid his ministers might unite and rebel? Or was he just that sure her father and the general were loyal? But what worried her most was that the general she had never met might be some old man with a face full of stubble. Turns out, the emperor had heard she was disfigured, saving him from the fire. Now no one in the capital was willing to marry her. So to repay the life-saving debt, he specially chose this young hero for her. The great general may have only been 17, but he went to war with his father at 13. He was a military genius, with outstanding achievements. His name was known everywhere, but the general was furious about the marriage. He repeatedly submitted requests to end the engagement, but the emperor rejected them all. Later, the girl heard the general was obsessed with beauty. He wanted out only because he thought she was ugly, so she came up with a plan. She would find a chance to show him what she really looked like. 3 days later, there was a palace banquet. She knew the general would definitely attend. That day, the girl dressed up with extra care. When she changed into fine clothes and finished her makeup, the maid beside her practically started drooling. She kept saying her lady was prettier than the so-called top beauty of the capital. All right. Stop flattering your lady so much. This is called playing dumb to stun everyone later. Got it? At the crucial moment, I'll shock them all. At the banquet, the girl wore a gold-threaded lace veil. Her beautiful eyes were locked on the general beside her. She was hoping their eyes would meet. But the general kept a cold face the whole time and didn't even bother glancing at her. Fine, don't look at me now. In a bit, I'll have you completely mesmerized. Before long, her chance came. The general suddenly stood up and left. The girl quietly followed behind him. But she ended up losing him. Worse, she got lost in the massive imperial garden. The night wind was cold. Her thin clothes couldn't keep her warm at all. When she sneezed, even the veil on her face blew away. Sand also blew into her eyes. She was miserable, and the emperor happened to pass by and see it all. He signaled the eunuch beside him to go speak to her. Meanwhile, he personally picked up her veil and draped a warm fox fur cloak over her shoulders. Miss Ruin, please take my arm. I'll escort you back to the banquet. Under the emperor's orders, the eunuch supported her as they headed back. He also had warm water and ginger soup prepared in the side hall, so she could rinse her eyes and warm up. When she returned to the banquet, that clueless general was already back in his seat. The more she thought about it, the angrier she got. When she looked at him again, her eyes held clear annoyance. Just then, she noticed the emperor staring at her without blinking. His gaze seemed like it wanted to pierce through the veil and see her true, stunning face. For some reason, the girl suddenly felt nervous. Could the chief eunuch have stolen His Majesty's fox fur cloak and just happened to run into me? Was he afraid I'd find out the truth? So he pretended to help me, while secretly planning to pin the blame on me? Suddenly, the emperor called her father forward. The once noisy banquet instantly fell silent. The girl's father was terrified, not knowing what he had done wrong. A bad feeling also rose in the girl's heart. She had no idea what the emperor was planning. Today, I ran into an old acquaintance I hadn't seen in years. That person is also the one who once saved my life. Minister Ruan, how do you think I should reward them? Saved his life? Old acquaintance? Who exactly is he talking about?